Yo, what is my fellow virgins? Your boy MILESTONE. Can never take a motherfucker loss. Today we're going to react to Abridged MMA. So you still want to be a fighter? For anybody who's watching this video, they want to be a fighter. This is about to be a hell of a video. But whoever does want to be a fighter, just take these in, let it marinate, and you know, yeah. But let's get into this video.
Do you have any deformed body parts from fighting?
I have nerve damage, and Sean kicked me. I don't know if you can see there is bump.
You need to go to the doctor.
I don't know.
I have a lot. That's my fucking hand.
CTE and brain damage is one of the most infamous taboos surrounding combat sports.
Of course.
The moment you
You're getting hit in your fucking head, kicked, elbow, like, come on, bro, of course.
think you are getting symptoms, you are already too late. And it is not reversible. This video is essentially the mental gauntlet for the young and impressionable. First we had rock stars, then we had SoundCloud rappers, fast-growing influencers.
Hold on. Did he just mention X out of SoundCloud rappers? Is kind of lit.
First we had rock stars, then we had SoundCloud rappers, fast-growing influencers such as streamers. It's looking like the next mainstream superstar platform for young people is to be an MMA
fighter
or UFC champion and fantasize themselves as the next Conor McGregor for their country. But there's a lot more to it.
Why did he say Conor McGregor and show Leon Edwards?
But a lot more. So do you still want to be a fighter? Our first example is Nam Pham. This is an old interview of him. Before you take a look, you need to remember that this is a post-fight Nam Pham. He just won by KO, he had a giant adrenaline dump, he's probably been concussed the same night, and he's also just very young and nervous. So this is the most sloppy his speech is going to be at this point of his life.
I get paid more to go to 45, you know? And I get paid pretty good at 55s. And I used to cut a lot of weight in college and high school for wrestling, and I was miserable. And in jiu-jitsu, I had to cut weight, and like, you know, I gotta remember why I got into this is because I enjoy it. And like, I don't want to get to the point where I hate it and I'm miserable and I'm fighting. I don't want to do that, you know? So I'm 555, you know, I'm a little fat, you know, but I'm comfortable. I like it, I win, I lose, but whatever, you know. I'm
Sound pretty normal.
happy, you know, so that's what matters to me. And I still get paid. That's good.
Now we dive just a decade and a half later. This is him giving out a tutorial on how to effectively low kick. The challenge now is, can you even understand everything he is saying?
Here. So, you know, we have maximum power, you know, a lot of power kick, guys. We're gonna do here is kick the shin downward into the middle of the thigh, ideally. If you possibly get this in the middle of the shin, that's perfect. But I think anywhere on the shin is fine. As long as
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I really do understand him, but I get where he's coming from. His words does sound slurred. It sounds like he sounds really old, but who knows, bro? Like, you know what? Let me shut up, bro. He fucked up.
use your foot right here. Here, step is in karate. You turn your foot and pivot your head as you kick. Let me do that. Just step forward, and throw that kick. Throw it downward, down. Hey, happy Friday. Good morning, baby. Just got done doing my 10 miles in the books, baby. I hope everyone enjoyed Thanksgiving. A lot of food, a lot of turkey, a lot of stuffing. Now go on, enjoy a Friday. Get fit, fight or die. Hey.
This is just one example as well.
Damn.
There is still hundreds of examples I could add that just surround CTE itself, and multiple YouTube channels surrounding it too. Of course you signed the waiver and you expected this to happen, but some people may disregard the long-term consequences. A good example is the legal move oblique kicks, making you probably walk weird for the rest of your life, despite the power of modern medical science. Not to mention scars, health checkups a lot more often than the average person, and if you're an American, good luck. If you are the 1% of the 1% of fighters who can get all the medical things paid for, you still need to dish out a lot of time anyway for surgeries and rehab regardless.
Damn.
Here's a compilation of your favorite fighters' physical condition and what they need to deal with every day.
Do you have any deformed body parts from fighting?
I have nerve damage, and Sean kicked me. I don't know if you can see there is bump.
You need to go to the doctor.
I don't know.
My wrists are a bit disformed. Everyone mentions me knuckles, and then I've had surgeries on me ankle. So, my ankle's
a bent ass elbow. I broke my elbow on the Contender Series. I had 2 major surgeries, and I got 2 screws in there, so yes.
My wrist. I can't turn my wrist all the way in, and I can't bend it all the way down anymore.
My nose is like blown out.
Damn.
My fingers are some stuff that's a little not right, you know what I mean?
Just my knees are pretty messed up. Oh, you're lucky.
My nose is still broken. I got a surgery so I could breathe, but it wasn't a cosmetic, you know? So I'll get that when I'm done fighting.
My toes, I got like one of the Mr. D's toes that's all black now. Whenever I take my shoe off, people are like, what the heck?
I have a lot. That's my fucking hand.
How's your shoulder doing now,
Damn.
and are we going to see you fight again?
Unfortunately, it's fucked. I can't even. I can't do this.
Really?
Holy sh! And it doesn't hurt. It just doesn't work.
Just stuck.
What the fuck?
Fractured his
Damn.
skull.
Seen that.
His skull caved in, and the MRIs are insane.
That's when MVP hit that nigga with that knee.
I've never seen that in all my years of watching fights and being involved in martial arts. I've never seen anybody's head caved in like that.
We have some extremely disturbing and sad news coming out of Japan. 2 pro boxers have passed away on the same fight card the same night.
Damn.
Oh my gosh. Rest in peace for both those guys.
This is fucked up. But
being a fighter
it's
is
crazy.
almost like a business. You're setting yourself up to work 24/7. There is no 9 to 5. You either put in 100% or you get destroyed in the cage. There's no in between. 99.9% effort might as well be rounded down to 0. It will come to the point.
this right here is supposed to be light sparring. You see how Pereira got no headgear and he got headgear. He was supposed to, and this was during like I won't say a camp, but before he actually had a fight scheduled and everything. And I just feel like if Alex don't got no headgear on, he should have no headgear and they should do light sparring. You feel what I'm saying? But y'all about to see right now.
Where it will affect your personal life. For the younger ones out there, you do have all the time in the world. But as you get older, you will have more responsibilities. And unfortunately, you cannot cover up those responsibilities with a fuck ton of money. And with such a stressing career, such as being a fighter, you will need to make sacrifices. And that's the best case scenario. Imagine yourself not in the right headspace when making such decisions. Everything you could be fighting for could be just out the window just
Facts.
like that.
Okay, I just want to explain one thing. I actually left the location with my son. I was not comfortable with it anymore.
Okay.
He is a professional fighter.
And it's your husband?
Yeah, it's my husband.
What's
so that's
his
what I'm
name?
saying. I just want to let you guys know he's a professional fighter because, one, I don't want no cop to get injured or
Yeah,
anything.
we don't-
If you just send one.
No, we don't want anyone to get hurt. What's your husband's name?
Tony Ferguson.
Tony?
That's fucked up, bro. He ain't have to show that clip of Tony. Like, you feel what I'm saying? You could have showed the clip of him winning. You feel what I'm saying? And, like, come on, bro. Like,
How old is Tony?
damn.
He's 35. We've been trying, us and his management team has been trying to get him help for some time now. Actually, the cops were called to my location about a year
This nigga
ago,
sharp.
around this time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been trying all year for him to get help, and he refuses. And now he's to the point where
Tony Ferguson deserve a movie. Like, he really does, bro. I don't think people understand how special he is to the sport. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Like,
Has he
I
been
just don't
diagnosed
understand.
with anything?
No, because we haven't been able to get him.
Take him? Okay.
Yeah, he's actually worse. I don't want to go near my house. And I don't want to go near my house.
Okay, ma'am, not right next to it, just somewhere in that general vicinity. Maybe over by Sandpoint Park, or over MacArthur Place, or wherever you feel comfortable. If you're not comfortable anywhere near the house, then you can come to our station. It'll just take longer for us to get to you.
That is just one of the most famous examples. Luckily, Tony Ferguson actually is still with his wife, and I believe they are still in a relationship and are still living together.
Hey,
but
that's
think
a
of
metal
all the
pole.
other times and all the other fighters that are going through a lot worse, and there's abusive relationships going on.
Social life and
Granted,
sacrifices.
will occur when pursuing just about anything, but it's good to get a good glimpse of reality when many of us fans are only seeing the spotlight and glory of these superstars.
I can't get that time back, I'm blessed that my family can travel with me for training camps, but I also have brothers here. My father's getting older. My mother's here. My little brother has a baby. My little brother's getting married. and I'm just always gone. You know, I'm always on the road chasing dreams, and I've done it for so long. But that's just a sacrifice we pay. But I feel like it's just being selfish, you know. And you have to be, you know, to be the best at what I'm trying to do. I can't do it here in Louisiana.
Facts.
I need to be surrounded by other people in that kind of gym, an American Top Team, and it is what it is. But it's no different from any other work, you know. Whether I was a truck driver and I had to leave my family for a few days at a time and doing that type of stuff, but it's just like I'm that's not the reason if I thought about walking away. It's just that's part of what I dislike about some of the stuff.
Yeah, cause like a lot of people don't understand when you were like a fighter. You know what I mean? Like, imagine it's like a job pretty much. Like, you know, you got an 8-hour shift. You know what I mean? But fighting is not an 8-hour shift. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you get a job, you got to train. You train one time, and you learn throughout. They throw you in the fire, you learn throughout the day. But with fighting, it's just like you have to train almost every day. You got to be at the gym. You can't be, you know, you can't chill with your daughter and watch fucking Peppa Pig. You got to probably watch it after, you know, you come from the gym. Half of the time you want to go to sleep. She probably sleep. Like, it's just like the time you just can't get that time back. So that's why a lot of fighters, you know, they retire, you know, early, because like family is number one. You know what I mean? If you can't, you know, spend the time you can get back. You know what I mean? Like, I probably said that wrong, but y'all know what I'm trying to say.
Another brutal part of being a fighter is that you are always loitering around the Grim Reaper's door every 4 to 5 months. Of course, it really depends on how much of a weight bully you are, but regardless, it is not something safe. Nobody just cuts their water weight for fun. Also, weight cutting before the fight is the only cause of death in the MMA space so far. We have yet to see an official death caused by an MMA bout, but don't take it in such a way that MMA is safe. It's very similar to vaping and smoking.
Yeah.
When vaping was in its peak phase, the word of mouth was crazy. People were saying vaping is 100 times safer than smoking cigarettes. And maybe that's true, but it's still smoking. And people who weren't smoking at all are picking up vaping and saying, well, at least I'm not smoking cigarettes. And they end up with a chronic nicotine addiction. Very similar here. Yes, you don't instantly die after your fight like in boxing, where you have huge built up brain bleeding or blunt force trauma, but MMA is still a brutal combat sport and you still might end up with long lasting injuries and issues. Back to the weight cutting. You may have a size advantage during fight day, but there is still a big price to pay. You literally half unalive yourself, and with that level of dehydration, 24 hours is just not enough to replenish it all back to the body and brain. Therefore, you will be a lot more vulnerable to knockouts, and not to mention your fatigue. Good luck having a sharp mind and good fight IQ, just like in training, if you are already drained before the actual fight.
See, this is the number one scariest part, because you can weigh, like for example, you could weigh probably like your natural weight probably like 185, and you want to cut down to 170. You got to cut like at least 10-15 pounds. And that's not fucking easy. You gotta sit in the sauna. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. You gotta sweat. You gotta sweat. See, I cut weight before, so like I don't think a lot of people who never cut weight. If y'all want to know what cutting weight feel like, sit in the sauna for 2 hours and tell me how you feel. All right. Then put a trash bag over your body and go out for a run. And tell me how you feel.
It's like come back to my 14 years old. Like I had this surgery. 1 month I couldn't eat and drink. I had them like on my nose something. They put like not food, like some you know, like drops, and they put them IV from my nose under my stomach. And I had this one open and close every day. They open, and clean and close.
Man, how am I gonna get through anyone to fight? Bobby Green, Tony Ferguson, Jared Gordon. I'm gonna get through any of them if I can't beat a fucking bat. I'm a fucking storm blanket. You're never gonna beat them, are you? It's all up here. I always say that fighting's a mental sport. People think it's all physical. Nope. Obviously, physically plays a fucking big part. If you haven't got the mental capacity for this game, then go and do a team sport where you can get carried by someone else. Because this sport, lad, you've got to be there mentally. You've got to know what you're doing. gotta have fucking 100% belief in yourself. And the good thing about it is that correlates to life, you know what I mean? As I was saying, you have mental struggles and negative stuff in your head and you feel like you can't go on anymore. Stuff like this makes you realise you can. You can get through this, like you can get through any.
Because it takes how many hours if you do it orally?
Takes a long time.
Yeah, to get the brain, and that's the
affects your chin.
You're trying to protect as you're fucking noggin slushing around in your cranium. Yeah, because wait, what is it? Cerebral fluid? It's made of. It's well, I'm guessing a lot of water, right?
There's a lot of water in there. Yeah, and the rehydration of the brain apparently is the slowest because the blood-brain barrier. That's the slowest. You know, your body's, your muscles rehydrate fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But still, it just never makes sense to me that a person is like literally on the verge of death 24 hours before a cage fight.
Let's go battle to the death.
Damn, Izzy.
There are so many factors that come into play if you ever get accepted into the UFC. There's heart, dedication, connections, experience, and sometimes just pure luck. But even going through hell and back to get that frickin' contract, being in the UFC doesn't really mean you made it. The UFC is just the beginning. You are just now eligible to use the UFC platform to ignite your brand image, your fighter persona, and so on. Just like every other market in the world, competition is only gonna get higher from now. And the fighter inflation that we've seen is real. Get rich quick and get out quick. Because the battle for relevancy is one of the most frustrating battles for any fighter in this era. And that isn't even something they signed up for. Being a great fighter or UFC champion just isn't enough anymore sometimes. You just need to be the best possible human being at the right place at the right time. Look at this example of the kickboxing veteran who decided to fight in the Dana White Contender Series. He pulled out in the last few minutes due to anxiety. The toughest 0.1% in the world still go through these struggles. Not to further mention, this specific fighter, Camille Otoni, I apologize for that pronunciation, was the first person to beat Alex Pereira. I ended up not fighting yesterday after really having an anxiety crisis. Adrenaline freezing a bit after seeing all that, Otoni said in Portuguese. Watching it from the other side of the screen is one thing, but being there and seeing the cameras, cars, and even people, there's no excuse for what happened. I made weight. It was a struggle to gain back the weight. I felt sick on the way back up in weight, but that wasn't even an excuse. I gained 8 kgs with severe stomach pain, but that's not why I didn't fight. It was a mix of everything. The anxiety, seeing the camera, seeing the cut man doing my hands, people I've seen the most, and that's it. And that just further emphasizes the mental struggles you did not sign up for. Can you take the heat and online backlash if things don't go your way? Even if it was controllable or not. Maybe you lost by robbery due to favoritism. That doesn't matter by some fans. Some fans are crippling gambling addicts, and you losing just made their bet void. They get drunk and then they send you very, very disgusting death threats. Can you do something about that? No. That's just the reality of it. You either have thick skin or you don't.
I'm broke, so I need to fight. Hopefully, I get that title shot.
The MMA space is notorious for horrible fight pay compared to any other sport. Only because Dana White claims that you should use the UFC as a platform for yourself. If you're not proactive about your brand image, your fight purse alone isn't going to sustain yourself in this economy.
Nah, look at it like, see, I understand where fighters coming from, and I understand, you know, where everybody else coming from, but it's like a YouTube channel, you know what I mean? Like, you got Conor McGregor who got the 10 mil, and you got other people who down here, but like, it could be a possibility. Like, it could really be a possibility, but at the same time, I feel like these fighters should definitely get paid at least a little, you know, more to live. You know, they got families, they got bills, they got to pay their camp. Like, I feel like Dana White should give them the money so they can, you know, spend their financial needs and then help them, you know, do their own shit. Like, I don't know, it's so many fucking fighters and so many people, and it's just like, UFC is a $1 trillion, billion-dollar company, and they got TKO, they got all this fucking money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why.
Unique connections, other revenue streams, a loyal fan base to get things going for yourself. Yes, it's fucking hard, and it's sad that this is the true battle some fighters go through and not the one you like to see on Saturday nights. Some fighters didn't even know they would need to be this financially smart during this era.
Wait, what? Sunday MMA quit. His Japanese fighter believes he used to sex work to kickstart career. Damn.
Fighters didn't even know they would need to be this financially smart during this era. Granted, they just
Former gay adult film actor in the cast of Tough 15. Oh, shit.
wanted to be a fighter because they like fighting. Of course, this will be a struggle for them. That's why some become Uber drivers on the side. Or when they finish their career, they just go back to their day job. Almost like they weren't fighting in front of millions of people half their life.
No, we're fucking cattle, dude. Like again, us versus let's say porn stars. What's the difference?
Damn.
We get really fucking skinny. A couple of us get abs. You know, we wear these little tight little outfits, little fucking spandex. You know, wear a little cock bulge in our cup. And we go out there, we take our fucking clothes off when we fight in front of thousands of people. Well, these people are like, yeah, fucking punch him in the face, take him down, like fucking dry hump him, you know, twist his dick. So again, I love my job, but I'm not gonna go look in the fucking mirror and think I'm like I'm LeBron James. I'm not. I'm a fucking prostitute, man. I take my fucking clothes off. Dana says, go fight that guy. I'm like, all right, Dana, how much? And he gives me a number, and I'm like,
see, Sean, he symbolized it in the most common sense way, though.
Fuck it, let's go, Dana. I'll fight that motherfucker.
So maybe take a step back and maybe make a more rational judgment before you truly know what you are signing up for. Imagine treating another passion like, you know, graphic design as a fight camp. All day, every day, for 3 months or something.
Damn.
You will probably end up being industry level and you could start up some freelance work. And a higher chance than being a champion, you could use those skills to earn over 6 figures a year. So what do you truly want here? Because if it's money, the world is a lot bigger than you think. And if you want fame and your goal is to be the UFC champion, the world is a lot bigger than you think as well. But also, at the end of the day, don't think this video is some sort of fear-mongering propaganda that we are nearing the extinction of humanity or some shit. I just want this video to bring in some insight on what fighters are going through when the cameras are turned off and when they are not in peak condition. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe.
So for anybody who want to be a fighter, you know what I mean? Don't take this video as a, you know, as a handbook and know the rules and do it. Like me personally, I feel like if you want to be a fighter, be a fucking fighter, bro. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, just don't get hit. Like, you know what I mean? Don't get knocked. When I say don't get hit, I'm not saying like, oh, don't get hit, like, because you're going to get fucking hit. Don't get caught, you know what I mean? So, IQ.